Hey guys, welcome back to the BuzWeaver channel on this old PC recording. That's right, my newest PC almost made it to an entire year, but on the 11th month, the AIO cooler decided to go out, so we're here on the old rig. But nonetheless, let's just get into it. From the New York Post, audit finds half of Joe Biden's Twitter followers are fake. And of course, this led to many individuals, such as myself, conservatives, independents, right, and Republicans to kind of make fun of this based on the 2020 outcome. As many of us know, there was some activity by the establishment, of course, to ensure, right, that the election turned out a particular way, as we know from Molly Ball's article. If only I had $1 for every time I mentioned good old Molly Ball. Nearly half of President Biden's 22.2 million Twitter followers are bogus, a new audit revealed. The audit, which was done for the social media giant by software firm SparkToro, which is a whole other topic, found that 49.3% of the president's followers are fake followers, according to Newsweek. But as we all know, and this is a very common thing, particularly on TikTok and particularly on many of the Asian and or more specifically the Chinese Yahweh and other, or not Yahweh, but their particular social media platforms, use artificial accounts, or what's also known as sock puppets. People know them also as bots, those sorts of things, to make their accounts look larger than they really are. And we can see the ratio, for example, when a particular news agency, not necessarily New York Times, but say something like the New York Post or the Washington Examiner, in that, where they have millions of followers, yet they get, some of them don't even manage to get 5 likes or even positive retweets. They get ratioed. And what ratioed means is that you make a post that people don't like, and there's more people posting on it, responding to it, than, say, sharing and or liking it. So that's ratioed. And this isn't too surprising that this happened to Joe Biden, because many of us found some very interesting changes to our Twitter. Particularly for me, I picked up almost 50 new followers in the last almost month since we heard the first announcement, and that's a tremendous amount of followers for Twitter, because it is always difficult on Twitter, because they must have relaxed one of the AI algorithms that they had, because like with what happened here with Joe Biden and what we see here with President Obama, who was the most followed user, Barack Obama loses hundreds of thousands. I think it was a total of 300,000 followers after Elon Musk news. So we suspect, of course we can't prove, that when this happened, maybe Twitter did something very similar to what's called paper burning or record burying and this types of thing. So in other words, trying to clean up their little questionable activity as to how their operations work, because the value would change, right? The value of Twitter would change if they discover that there's a lot of bot activity. In other words, they're increasing the numbers so that advertisers would want to advertise on their platforms, and or bots of certain news agencies or individuals also have bots to inflate their numbers. Because, of course, as we know, just in general, when it comes to social media, that's kind of how people base a lot of their reactions on whether they follow someone or subscribe to someone's channel, which I would suggest you do now, as well as click like. But these are the sorts of things that people base some decisions on, somewhat impulsive, superficial type decisions. If they see someone with lots and lots and lots of followers, they just presume that, hey, maybe I should follow this person as well, because, as they say, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. So those types of things can happen. People are leaving Twitter at alarming rates following the news that billionaire Elon Musk has now acquired the company. Well, I don't know if they're probably leaving. However, with the AI change, it may be fair to say that the balancing act that they use to remove certain elements, it's easier to remove certain elements that create issues than it is to address the people that are creating the issue. So according to the Hollywood Reporter, the followers count for high-profile accounts like former President Barack Obama, the most followed Twitter user, and Katy Perry, have seen a significant drop on the social media platform. Now, again, same thing happened with Katy Perry. Katy Perry, as I understand it, is now living out in Kentucky and realizing that there is more to life than the artificial bizarreness of L.A., which is probably of no surprise to anyone in particular. But nonetheless, we suspect that probably some of the AI changes, algorithm changes, behaviors of Twitter that we used to balance things out probably were changed or adjusted. And that might be why. So you have Twitter audit here. I use this from time to time. It's very rare. But I actually use it more to check my own account. And let's do that now. If you haven't already, you can find my Twitter below this. Of course, it is at BuzWeaver. And you see that 447 are real and 11 are fake. And that's a 97% audit score, which is quite good. Because obviously I'm not using bots to inflate my numbers. I'm not using paid services or farms, as they're called, that inflate your numbers. That's a very big no-no on YouTube, to use those bot farms to make your numbers look bigger on YouTube. But the principle is still the same. If you have thousands or millions of followers and you have little to no engagement, very little engagement, it may be fair to say that probably a lot of your followers are not real, or just individuals that are not engaging any longer. And that's the other aspect of it too, because sometimes people get on Twitter or get on social media and they're just not engaged. Now, obviously, someone like myself who works in social media is going to be very engaged, as I am practically daily. I am obviously on social media daily. And even right now, as I record this video, I'm having to use my old rig. Thankfully, I have it, because my new rig is currently down as I replace a cooler under warranty. So nonetheless, as far as our Friday vlog, we will go more into the recent pause by the controversial Ministry of Truth, as we often call it here as tongue-in-cheek, the Disinformation Governance Board. We'll go more into that on the Friday vlog, but this is what I have for you guys today on Wednesday. It is May the 18th. It's obvious that there's a concern. Obviously, Elon is going to be concerned that if the numbers are inflated artificially, that's going to be a big problem for Twitter, because obviously advertisers and others base their decision on what they advertise of their frequency, and some of the big brands out there are going to want to know, are we putting our product out in front of actual viable people and not fakeness, which is typical of many other platforms in, I'd say, foreign countries. I don't want to pick on the Asians in and of themselves. This is obviously a problem across the board. People go to these bot farms too to inflate their own numbers. But nonetheless, guys, that's what I have for you on this Wednesday. And if you haven't already, guys, that would be the channel icon appearing right there on the screen to subscribe, along with notifications. Thanks to all of you guys on Rumble, Odyssey, and BitChute for your guys' support as well. And I will see you all in the next video.